dungeon, different mobs, different enemies, and get wrecked. Yo, what is up, guys? Aegis Rick here, and in the previous videos that we've done for the PvE, I've just kind of done my quest line. I want to do some dungeons I've never done before, and Alyssa right here is giving us a daily quest that I can get every day, obviously. And you jump into the Path of Anmar, which you can see actually some of the dungeons in here I've never actually seen before. And it wasn't until I actually tried them out that I realized what they were. So I'm going to actually jump into here first. We'll do a couple of these because these are generally pretty short. But basically what they did with these dungeons, guys, is they took the maps that were in the earlier dungeons. And honestly, I remember this dungeon for sure. This one's like a low-level dungeon. And what they've done is kind of revamped them by giving them stronger enemies. So more appropriate for this level. I don't know what they're... like what's the reasoning for it, but it does seem like it does give pretty decent EXP for this level, and it's kind of funny how what dungeons they decided to do that for, because generally these are the dungeons that you normally, when you are at this level range, an appropriate level range, these are the ones that you ended up grinding because they were small dungeons, usually only 1 or 2 maps large, and kind of easy to farm. Obviously, if there's not a lot of running, just a lot of enemies and stuff, probably the best ones to farm. So the dungeons that they've decided to do this kind of revamping thing with are the ones that have been the most efficient to farm anyway. So I thought that was really cool that the game is self-aware of which dungeons are really kind of fun to do and grind for and stuff. So don't crash. Yesterday I crashed. It was like I was almost done with the dungeon and fucking crashed. It sucked. Alright, these guys, I had to kill the mages here. Shit. And right there again, you guys, I remember talking a lot about how strong my divine or sacred hammering was. You guys can see how fucking powerful it is, man. It's no joke. Try to hit them both. That guy's way too far back down there. And I told, I'm doing that a lot. I miscalculating my smite. Kind of wasted it again. Oh shit. Let's get out of here. We did get a righteous bolt. Oh shit. Turn that back on. And I accidentally killed that bitch. And 1 smite? Yep, that was enough. Get wrecked. And right there, guys. Pretty easy dungeon. We're already at the boss room, so like I said, 1 or 2 map dungeons, generally the good ones to farm. So already pretty much at the end of the instance, and you're going to see that it's still really decent to farm now that they've revamped the level. So if you really didn't want to do the quest, which I highly suggest you do the quest, if you really didn't want to do that though, you can jump into these dungeons that they've added in this Path of Anmar region, because they're really efficient to farm right here. So I've mentioned it before that in this game, most of the EXP that you get is actually from dungeon clear. In fact, it is really hard to level up on just mob kill EXP alone. Most of the EXP that you actually get comes right here on this screen, right there. Look at how fast our clear time was, guys. It was only 2 minutes. But yeah, this screen right here is what gives you most of your EXP. So the idea is clear the dungeon as quick as possible, what takes them out the least amount of time, and just keep repeating it over and over. So this turns out to be a really, really efficient farm for EXP, honestly. If you didn't want to do any of the quests, this dungeon in particular, really good, because again, easy map. We're gonna go ahead and jump into the other dungeons. So you will recognize these dungeons if you've leveled up at least to 40. You'll have seen these dungeons already. So we're gonna jump into our next one. I'm gonna choose the Wayward Isle. I think I made a video about this on my assassin class where I said this dungeon, the Desolation Point, is a really good dungeon for farming. So the thing that they have done with this dungeon, though, this is really just Desolation Point, but it's backwards. So instead of starting at the shore, you work backwards all the way back down to the you work from the end of the dungeon and you work your way back to the shore. So that's really the only difference. These guys are kind of annoying though. But again, I mentioned this is a really efficient farm because it's only 1 map and just mobs the whole way down. So these guys are one annoying fuck. Okay. And this might be a situation where I'm just gonna use the buffs I have, just because the boss is not that hard. I usually save that shit for the boss, but Yeah, sometimes I want to just do something efficiently and quickly. This might be the best place to use that. There's a lot of guys right there, kind of annoying. Not to mention you get a ton of speed boost from the Heart of Glory, so. And the cooldowns are not terribly long for your ultimate skills, guys. I always fall into this where I never use the skills that I should. They're always just, I have them available if I need them. I really should just abuse the Heart of Glory every time I get it, you know? It's really efficient and worth the EXP or SP that I use on it. Making short work of everybody, guys. Oh shit, getting combo now. Actually, don't even think I have auto block. Get wrecked. Aerial auto block, that is. Don't think I have that. Get wrecked. I'm doing a thing with the Divine Combo. If you guys didn't know, at level 6 now, Divine Combo has a new kind of skill animation. If you right-click any time during the Divine Combo, you will do this shockwave attack that actually knocks enemies up. So that's what I'm doing. Sometimes I cancel it early just to end the animation earlier. It used to be the case where left-click just does this kind of big punch attack. I don't think it's worthwhile to do that anymore now that we have this kind of variation. Because it has bigger AoE and just easier to use. This kind of utility is also useful in PvP, which is why I think it's really, really nice to get it to level 6 now. So. At least level 6. Of course, I have it max if you guys checked the last video. But at least level 6 for the utility that it provides with knock up and all that. I'm missing some guys over here. And there's my armor break, just not doing that much damage, guys. A little disappointed in the armor break. Even before when I had it max level, it didn't do very much. So. That's not what I meant to do. Right there, max level Divine Combo. It does some damage, guys. I may have expressed a little bit more disdain than I meant on the skill. I really think it's useful. It has a relatively low cooldown, 15 seconds, so you know, it's just another type of skill I could use. I definitely use it. It's not like it's useless. I can totally use it. Find myself using it in a lot of situations. It's just, you know, if you don't use it or you think you don't have to use it, do not bother. I'd say, you know, you don't need to use it like these other Crusader skills. But here you guys can see we're at the shore now. And I think the dungeon was called Desolation Point. Right now it's called Wayward Isle, but it is legit the same dungeon. Different mobs, different enemies. And get wrecked! But aside from that, still exactly identical. Still generally takes the same amount of time to complete, so. And like I said, just because of how easy this is and you don't have to load into multiple maps, these make for excellent farming dungeons. I don't know if it's better than the one I just did, the first one I did in this video, but it's still really good, I'd say. Let's see how much EXP we get and we can judge. Took twice as long, we'll see how much EXP we get. I'm gonna say, I would say the first one that we did took half as long and we got just as much EXP, so those are the kinds of things you have to consider when you're grinding out these dungeons. And trust me, this is the way that I usually play the game, is that I just pick a dungeon, keep doing it over and over and over, and that's fine with me. That's really an efficient way to get levels, but just know that these dungeons are here and you're not going to have a lot of quests for them. You really only have the daily quests. I guess, I don't even think there's commissions that you could pick up for them. So that's a lot of EXP that you may be missing out on if you're not capitalizing on the commissions. Because like I said, this doesn't have a commission board that you can use. It really is just these efficient dungeons just to farm. And there might be one that may be shorter that actually has a commission, because commissions give a lot of EXP. I think upwards of 200,000 EXP every run, so you have to consider that. Maybe there's another dungeon that's relatively the same amount of length and has a commission, so just something you have to consider. We're going to jump into the last one of these types of dungeons, the Wayward Shore. Oops, that's a wrong one. But there's a teleporter that'll take us basically to the top of the instance, and it really is just running backwards. I forget what it's called. I think it might be Desolation some shit. I don't know. Some level 32 dungeon, but this is the area where the boss was, and now we're going to be chasing that guy all the way back down to the shore. So this will take, I think, the longest out of all of the ones we've just done. Oh my god, real? And the cool thing about that divine combo is now you can cancel it immediately. So you don't even have to, if you just want the AoE, you can just cancel it right when you cast it. So that's something that might be useful if you got a lot of guys on you and you want to do some quick damage. Just click the divine combo and then immediately right click and it'll just do this slam right on the ground and do a lot of damage. So that's another thing. I think it has excellent utility and good damage if you level it up. So the one I'm mostly on the fence about is the Holy Kick. I'm using the Holy Kick and the Crest, and it has a different animation at level 6 as well. Magic damage as well as physical damage. Knocks back. You can really get him into this kind of stun lock kind of thing. I just don't know if that's really worth the points I put into it, though. That's the one I'm kind of on the fence. You guys can put your opinion below. But if I was maybe to make another build again, that might be one consideration that I would maybe not get. You can see it also uses up a lot of mana every time I do it, so while the basic attack off of the Divine Hammer or Sacred Hammering doesn't, so another consideration. Let's go ahead and get the hell out of here. Throw this hammer and throw this relic and get wrecked, all of you. That's probably the quickest way you can do the damage with the Divine combo. You hit one time right when the skill comes off, and then press right click. So that'll be 2 hits like back to back really quick. Which technically is 4 hits since it counts as multiple types of damage. And this guy's here, he just wants to get... Whoops! I was in the wrong skill tree by complete accident. I meant to use Divine combo. Alright, let's group some guys up. We're already out of mana. I really fucked this up. Been spamming too much. Mana? No. I think I have some mana potions or somewhere. Yeah, and these are the considerations you have to make if you're trying to farm this like Wayward Shore. You have a lot of running in this dungeon, which is wasting a lot of time for farming. So, I would say this is probably the least efficient ones of the dungeons that they've done. It just takes too long. So if there's another dungeon that's shorter, there's no reason why you'd ever do this one. I am overkilling those guys, man. Overkill. You guys can see I didn't mention it in the last video. I'm actually using a pledge set. This is actually a guild set. It costs about 200 gold total, a little bit more, maybe 250. And if you get all pieces of the pledge set, you actually get a bonus right there. I am actually getting 10% bonus EXP just by buying the pledge set and using it. Really nice, obviously, for leveling purposes. Will be unnecessary afterwards, but I like having it now. Another thing that I'm also rocking is a 50% EXP scroll, which I ended up getting in the Laffy dungeon. That's going to be the next video I do, guys. I've already done one instance of that since a friend recommended it. I think it's a really good idea to do the Laffy dungeons now. So we'll show a run of that, just kind of to showcase why it's important to do that. Again, I did pick up a 50% EXP scroll that lasts the entire day, so something to consider. I spent a lot of time, pretty much wasted a lot of time by not doing that, not capitalizing on that, so get wrecked. I'm like overkilling these guys with that smite, man. Alright, moving swiftly along. Not really, this one's slow as shit, man. We've finally gotten to the end, though. I think I'm just gonna cast my ult and be on my way. When you cast this buff, guys, you are so powerful. Just throwing that out there, you are a fucking beast. You can see my basic attack from Sacred Hammering is hitting like 8,000 now, so that's all I'm gonna need to kill this guy, honestly. I don't have any mana left, but I don't need any, man. The basic attack on Sacred Hammering is so good. I'm doing nothing but clicking. Ooh, detonated on me. And that's it, guys. So, anyway, guys, I just wanted to show you guys the kind of revamped dungeons. I don't know really their use aside from just grinding out dungeons that you've done previously, which have been efficient dungeons to do that on. Trust me, guys, I used to do this all the time. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching. That gave shitty XP. I'm just saying, that was 6 minutes and just terrible. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys.